You got to
What's up, everybody? It is your boy Bishop coming at you with a video today that gonna kind of talk to you about the COD World League. Day one ended today, so I had a lot of takeaways that I wanted to talk to you guys about, things that I saw, and hopefully I can keep this as short as possible. There's a lot that went on, so we'll get into it, okay? First things first, the bans and protects thing. I saw right away that the bans outweighed the protects like crazy. Top things that were banned all the time, high caliber and rapid fire. The Vesper and the Shiva were almost always gone. You would at least see 2 pistols banned, if not all 3. And it's kind of making me wondering, how this is going to affect some online play. You never know. Players watch the pros. They want to emulate the pros. So you could be seeing a change of play in arena mode. So, it might be something for you to kind of look for. The one thing that I did find kind of find surprising was that the 2-shot kill gun, the Gorgon, was both never banned or protected or used. So I'm kind of wondering why that's happening, but, like I said, it is day one, so we'll see what happens throughout the rest of the weekend. But the specialists, the Scythe, the Annihilator, and the Vision Pulse, those were by far the most used specialists. Once those were chosen, you could see anything from the Glitch to, I think I saw the Sparrow used once, but those 3 were the most used that you saw from everyone, which was kind of not surprising. The Scythe is powerful, the Annihilator, and the Vision Pulse gives good intel for you as far as the map and where players are at. However, though, I didn't really feel like the specialists really didn't affect the games as much as I thought they would have. I don't know if it was because they weren't used that often, or just the fact that as soon as the pro would call in their specialist, they would be killed right away. I mean, honestly, I don't think maybe there was like 1 or 2 kills tops from any specialist weapon that I saw, and that was it. The only time that I really saw a specialist affect any type of game mode was in S&D. One sticks out in particular. Was in the phase matchup. Enable slid into the A bomb site, and he popped his purifier, or not his purifier, his fire break, and it just stunned the guy that was on the bomb, and he got himself a free kill because the guy in the bomb obviously couldn't move. So it was a pretty interesting tactic, something that to take away from that, and maybe some people will start doing that in the arena modes. Streaks. This was something that I kind of really questioned about a lot of stuff. The HCXD, the Lightning Strike, and the Hellstorm were the most used ones that I saw. The thing that I questioned, though, is after a while why the Lightning Strike was being used so much in the hardpoint games, the CTF, and the uplink. Reason being was I don't remember a lot of kills happening. I don't remember a lot of Lightning Strikes bringing down anything or making any big changes. And it kind of made me wonder, why aren't the pros using the Guardian and the Sentry? I don't think they're banned in any way. And quite honestly, in hardpoint and capture the flag and uplink, those 2 can hold hardpoints, and they can sit back there and they can guard your base for when a guy's trying to slide in for that capture the flag, or trying to jump in for a score in uplink. The Sentry gun can just tear a guy apart. So, like I said, you never know. They could change strategies. I just don't understand why the Hellstorm is being used so much. It was so ineffective. However, we did find out that the Cerberus is a beast. It does not need to be controlled. If you just drop it down and let it do its thing, it went on a tear. It wasn't called in a lot, but when it did get called in, it did go nuts. The HCXD, it was used more, I saw, to scout in S&D. It wasn't really used so much as to find a kill. It was basically saying, okay, this is where these guys are at. They're flanking A or they're flanking down B. The HCXD wasn't really used for kills as much, which I found to be a great strategy and something that I took away that I'm sure I'll be using when it comes to my S&D matches from here on out. Moving on to the guns, obviously this is the thing that most people care about. They want to know how the pros are set up. They want to know what guns are being used and things like that. We did see a lot of them being used, but the two most dominant were the VMP and the M8A7. You mainly saw them being ran with a grip or a quick draw stock and a reflex sight. Didn't really see any type of zoom sights or the BOA being used. The ELO sight was used a lot as well, but it was just mainly ELO and reflex. I'd have to say quick draw was used more than grip, but the stock was always on the ARs. I didn't see a lot of long barrel, but quick draw and stock were the two that I saw the most. The LCAR 9, not unexpected, it did dominate the heck out of the matches, which caused it to be banned every game. It was basically a victim of its own success. The RK5 was solid, but the LCAR 9 was by far superior, and you always saw that banned. Moving on to the lethals, the Semtex and the frags were always used. I kind of wondered why thermite wasn't being used, especially, like I said, again, in hardpoint, you could throw the thermite into a doorway, and it can hold down your hardpoint for a while. Keeping guys from being able to just run through and capture and contest the hardpoints. So, and there was no C4 either. Like I said, I know these guys sometimes they have their gentlemen's agreements, but I don't think that's going on right now. So maybe we'll see that change up. Maybe they'll talk about things tonight, and maybe we'll see some changes tomorrow. Tacticals and flash. Tacticals. We saw flash and concussion. Were the ones that were used the most, but they also were the ones that actually they were banning them the most. They did ban those things, so when you're in a hard point, you didn't have to worry about somebody making it so you couldn't move at all. But in the reverse of that, I also saw a lot of double trophies being run. They were shooting down a lot of frags and flashbangs and concussions. The double trophies were used a lot in hardpoint, obviously. Not so much in the capture the flag, the uplinks, or the S&Ds. You did see them every now and then in the S&D, but you mainly saw them in the hardpoint, obviously, for good reason. The perks, hardpoint, capture the flag, and uplink. You always saw flak jacket, task mask. Those were musts because, like I said, the frags and the tacticals are just being thrown all over the map. If you don't have those, they're going to hit you with one, and then next thing you know, you're not going to be able to move, and you're basically dead where you stand. In S&D, the one perk that I saw being used a lot was overkill. I'm sorry, not a perk, but the greed perk, basically, yeah. Overkill was being used a lot, especially with the snipers. You would see I think it's the VMP 100 and not the VMP, but HVK 100, I don't know, that sniper rifle that makes like a thunder noise. That was teamed up with the VMP, which is obviously a very, very powerful combo. But as far as the perks when it came to S&D, you always saw somebody running Blast Suppressor and Dead Silence on their classes. These guys wanted to stay off the map as much as possible, so those were always paired up in their perk 3 greed slot. And they used flak jacket more than overclock. Obviously, in S&D you don't earn your specialists all that much, so the overclock perk was kind of something that's not needed. So the flak jacket thing was interesting to me because I don't run it on S&D, but it's something that I'm going to take into consideration about whether or not I should start to. And fast hands is starting to look to me like it's a crutch perk. I hate to give it that name already, but in that perk 2 slot, there's just nothing else that needs to be used. Some people may have ran cold blooded because I didn't see them appear on thermal scopes, but it wasn't that often. Fast hands was on pretty much every single perk that there was, and when you team that up with the quick draw grips, like I said, they were using all the time. They were aiming down sights as quick as heck. So that was that was probably the reason why, like I said, I think fast hands is going to start to be a crutch perk. But like I said, it's day one, so let's not give it that name yet. one of the other things that I wanted to talk to you guys about was the gameplay styles. And the reason why I wanted to kind of get into this is because, um, I really think that this is stuff that a lot of people watch these tournaments, and the only thing that they focus on is like the kills and and that's basically the only thing that people really seem to focus on. When honestly, the biggest thing that you should be paying attention to, in my opinion, is the way that they play the games. Okay, for instance, in hardpoint, capture the flag, and uplink, you'd see 2 or 3 guys on the team held the hard point, or rotated in and out of the hard point, where one would hold it, then the other one would go out and check, then the other one would check the other door, and they would rotate around like that. Or they would attack and capture the flag or uplink. They'd be the ones that would be running the ball. But you wouldn't see all 4 guys trying to do everything and score every point and throw every ball in and capture every flag and sit in the hard point the whole time. You saw a lot of movement, and the other thing that you would see was that 1 or 2 guys would always stay back by the flag or stay back by the goal and uplink, or they would be like an Overwatch in hardpoint, and they would find an area where they could see people coming, and they would protect the guys that were getting the points for them. Okay, and one of the reasons why I bring that up is because the players online don't do this. Okay. Everybody wants to score every point. Everybody wants to get every kill. Everybody wants to have the highest KD and all this stuff. And I really think that if people watch more of these tournaments in these pro leagues and just watch the gameplay and the way that they move on the maps, and not who has the most kills and who has the most time in the hard point or whatever, you'd find that you'd be finding yourself winning a lot more, especially in the Arena League. This stuff is mainly going to be focused, what I'm saying, on the Arena League stuff, because that's where the wins and losses really affects your game, your ranking, and things like that. But like I said, I think that if you watch the gameplays, if you watch the way that they hold the maps, you'll win a lot more. If you see how, if you see 3 people on your team rushing to get the uplink ball, be that guy that stays back, that covers the base, that watches for anybody who's flanking. Okay, if there's people going for it, you don't need to be going for it too. But also if you see guys that are hanging back, then you're just the opposite of that. Be that guy that rushes in. Be that guy who goes in for the points and the scores and things like that. You got to really kind of analyze your team, kind of really quickly online, because not everybody talks to everybody in Arena League, and that's unfortunate. But that's just the way that it is. Don't just watch these tournaments for the guns that they're running and the perks that they have. Watch how they control the spawns. Watch how they run the maps. They don't care on their teams who get the most kills. They only care about the W. Okay, and that's one of the things that as I'm watching these guys, I'm going, these guys could care less. I think there was a lot of S&Ds and there was a lot of hard points where a lot of people were going double negative, but they had the most time in the hard point. Okay, there's no reason for you to worry about it, if that kind of stuff, if you're more concerned about getting the W. So I really think that if you're watching these tournaments, if you want to be like the Optics, if you want to be like the Phases, and you want to do well and win, you got to be able to play as a team and not just go, okay, I'm here for myself, and that's and that's all I care about. And that goes back to me and my rage quitting videos. People who quit all the time, they only care about themselves, and that's not helping not only yourself, but that's not helping the other people that you're teamed with. So like I said, don't just watch these guys for what they're running and what they're using, so that you can use it online next time and you can be better. You'll be better if you watch how you could control the map, because controlling the map and controlling the spawns wins these teams more games than the people who have the high KDs. Okay, that's just fact. If you stand back and if you actually watch like the mini map and you watch how they rotate and do all that stuff, you'll learn a lot more, and it'll make you be a lot better of a player, because it's not just run in and get all the kills. It's, okay, let's talk strategically, and let's get the W. Lastly, I want to talk about what I want to see tomorrow. I think tomorrow is going to be very, very interesting. The teams are going to learn a lot from today because the bans and protects. I'm so glad that Treyarch put this in the game. And the reason why is because I was tired of having to listen to the developers go, okay, this gun is banned. This gun is too overpowerful. Let the players make that decision, and that's great. I'm glad that they put that in the players' hands. I'm glad that that's something that they now control because now they can say what's going to happen. Now, and yeah, there's some uniformity. You're always seeing the Vesper go. You're always seeing. I think you're going to start seeing the VMP and the M8A7 banned a lot tomorrow. And in the last match of the night tonight, it stays in my head because it was ridiculous how bad he was doing. But the VMP got banned, and when the VMP got banned in a game, you saw two guys on each team. I think it was Killa on Nation and Ricky on Complexity. They were both going, I want to say, double negative because the VMP was taken out. They weren't allowed to use their gun. And this is something that is going to cause the players to have to go, look, if these guns are going to start getting banned, I'm going to have to start working on using more guns. That's something I've been saying since day one that this game came out. You can't just be focused on just, okay, I rock this gun is my thing. You got to be able to go, okay, well, the M8A7 was banned. What's my backup? Okay, I got to grab my Man of War. I got to grab my ICR or my, whatever it may be. Or, the VMP's banned. I got to grab my Pharaoh or my Razorback or whatever. And I think tomorrow you're going to see a lot of this stuff banned. And you're going to see the teams that are more versatile in their gun selections be the ones that are that are going to be able to win more matches. I also think you're going to see the opposite of that. You're going to see the guns that get banned. You're going to see people that are normally very, very solid players maybe not do as well as you would think. Okay, I mean, this is just speculation. Okay, because like I said, watching that last match and watching, I think at one point he was like 4-10 a killer because the VMP was banned and that's the only gun he used. He tried using the Kuda, he tried using the Pharaoh, but since he hardly ever used them before on online play, he wasn't as effective. So I think that's something that will be fun to see happen tomorrow, and I think that will be something that will occur. I think that's going to be it for now. Like I said, this is just my little recap. I told you there was a lot of information, but there was a lot of stuff that went down. It was day one. Obviously, there's a lot going on. And hopefully the rest of the weekend is going to be just as much fun with Saturday and Sunday. We'll see who gets their first 2 wins so that they can get into the pro season and then go from there. So I think that'll be it. So thanks a lot, guys, for tuning in. And do me a favor, smash that like button. Do me a favor, tweet this out, and so I can get more people to watch. I think the stuff that I'm seeing here is going to be a lot of what everybody else is seeing. So. Subscribe and follow me on Twitter. All the links will be down below. And as always, have a good night, guys. Peace out. You got to